Welcome back. So there's one more log that I want to share with you before we get into some of the fun stuff. And you may actually have noticed that there was something missing in the tracking of your tasks. So we've got the monthly log, which gives us a sense of what's happening this month with events and other small things. There's the future log, which tells us what's happening some months from now and may have a few tasks on them. We have the weekly log, and in the weekly log, there's certainly going to be a lot of tasks. And we have the daily log, which is what's happening right now. But what happens if there is something that I want to accomplish next week? So I'm not going to write it on the weekly log because it's happening next week, but there's really no place for me to put brain dump tasks in the monthly log. That's where we come in with next week. The next week log is something that I actually created because I felt like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. I would realize that there were many things that I need to do next week, but I didn't want to migrate that many things into the future log. There just wasn't enough room to get that granular. And I don't really have a place for it in my monthly log, as you saw. Now, some people do, as you see in the alternative layouts that I shared with you in the monthly log module. You could keep tasking to some extent in the monthly log, but for me, it just doesn't work. I need a place where I can brain dump my next week and not have to think too hard about strategically placing it on the right date or in the right section or even having enough room. So you're going to see me set up my next week. It's very simple and straightforward, but this log really ties it all together. Okay, so as you can see, the next week log is just one page. So you can ignore what's happening on the other page of this spread. We'll talk about that later. And all you need to do is write the date of the first day of next week, just so you know what week we're talking about. My usual next week log has 1 or 2 weeks worth of tasks listed on it. And then just start writing your tasks beneath it. So it's really just that simple. It creates a space for you to plan things that need to happen next week that you may not have another place for. So you can see my old next week log has 3 weeks listed on it. I use a little plastic tag because this is such an important log and I refer to it often. And I use the ribbons that come with the bullet journal for the monthly, weekly, and daily logs. And finally, just as a reminder to index. So when you create a new next week log, index it in the right place, and you'll see as well my old index has tons of pages for my next week log. So you're going to use this a lot. As you can see, the next week log is very basic and straightforward. Most of my bullet journal is. The whole point is to use it, not make it something so fancy that I feel overwhelmed every time I open it. And that's what I'm trying to help you do as well.